On the homestead, the work never stops, not even when the cold wind blows or the snow blankets the ground. Of course, we will take a little bit of time to play in the snow, maybe build a snowman or sled down the hill. Winter simply shifts our focus. Instead of working primarily outside, we turn inward to tackle the projects waiting inside the house or in the barn. This week, we are focusing on one of our big winter tasks, which is organizing our food storage pantry, which is underneath our stairs. We have a lot of jars that we preserved of foods for this last fall, and space is really at a premium. And since we store all our freeze dried foods in Mylar bags on the shelves, they're just taking up too much space that we need for jars. So it's time to change and get things organized. We're sorting through all the freeze dried foods and grouping them. So, fruits with fruits, veggies with veggies, meals with meals, just making sure everything's organized. And this is also just a great way for us to see what we have in our pantry. Um, we actually use all of these freeze dried foods. A lot of them go into soups and stews and casseroles. They're great with ramen as toppings. And then the fruits we just eat as snacks. So getting them organized so we can get to them is important. We're also clearing out the space that's under the stairs so that we can use that to put our freeze-dried foods. So we're pulling out things like hand-me-down clothes, some boxes with that were jar boxes from years and years ago, a couple of gun cases, finding a place to relocate all of that so that we have a spot to put these freeze-dried foods. Now, as we were trying to figure out how we were going to store this freeze-dried food underneath our staircase in a way that we can access it because the stairs get narrow as you get closer to the floor, we decided to use some inexpensive rolling carts. These are actually under the bed storage rolling carts. We got a couple that are kind of wooden crates that we can store some of those Mylar bags in. And then we got two that are kind of flatbed, if you will, rolling carts um, that you can put boxes on or you could put cans on and roll them under the stairs. So our idea is that we'll be able to kind of manipulate and move these carts around a little bit so things can go farther underneath the stairs, but then be pulled forward so that we can access those Mylar bags of freeze-dried food. These carts are not like super heavy duty, although I was impressed with the quality. They're better than I thought. So I don't think I could put like 20 jars in this little cart, but I can definitely put 20 or more Mylar bags of food in these carts. And as long as we keep our jars and our Mylar bags nice and clean, we don't typically have problems with rodents getting into them. And I do check them fairly regularly, mostly because it is our pantry, so we go down there quite often. We also do have a mouse trap underneath our stairs just to ensure if a mouse does come in that we're actively trying to catch it. But I just keep my eyes open for any droppings or anything like that, and that's a good indication if I have a rodent problem or not. The great part about these two products is they were very easy to assemble, and they are more sturdy than I anticipated. This little cart it actually comes with two, and I only ended up using one because I didn't have enough space. But the other one I will probably utilize in the future, maybe underneath a bed. You could easily put some number 10 cans on the cart and roll it underneath the bed, or even use it out in the barn or the garage for some things that need to go into a corner that's hard to reach. But this particular one has several supports on it. And you'll see later in the video that I actually put like 10 number 10 cans on this cart, and it's been just fine. It moves great and it holds them really, really nicely. So if you're looking for a way to save some space with your food storage, both of these are a great option, and we'll leave links down in the description if you want to go check them out. There's tons of other options out there as well. These are just two that I really thought would work well with the small amount of space that we have underneath our staircase. So I'm down here in the food storage cupboard or closet under the stairs, and I have my trolleys that I've assembled, and I'm going to put them under the stairs and kind of see how they fit. And the idea is that I can push stuff up underneath so that like a box could go on this flat one, and I'm hoping to get a lot of my Mylar bags on these like wooden crate ones. So we're just going to kind of test it out and see what happens. I'm just trying to utilize as much space in this under the stairs pantry, I guess we would call it, food storage pantry, so that I have a lot of space for my jars on these shelves here. So I'm running out of jar space because I have Mylar bags in space, which is fine, except for the jars really need to be accessible a little easier because they are not going to last us the whatever's in the Mylar bag. So, and sometimes we just store stuff down here. We need to be able to access it. So let's see what happens. So putting the carts under the stairs is a little bit more challenging than I thought. I can fit one of these flatbeds and then two of these little crates. And then you can see over here, I still have a gun case, but that's probably going to have to move. But so far, so good. We have moved our freeze-dried food under the stairs, but let me show you what our pantry kind of looks like out here out front. These shelves previously all had freeze-dried food on them. Now that's moved underneath the stairs to make space for jars. So we have bone broth here, we have pasta sauce, we have some pickles here, and then some canned chicken, and then some beef stew here, and then more pickles at the top. But that freed up a lot of space for things that we use a lot in jars. We actually go through broth like crazy. Lots of recipes take broth. And previously we were just putting that broth into our freezer, but it was just taking up so much space. But now that the freeze-dried foods have moved, we have so much more space for yummy shelf-stable broth as well as other canned homemade fruits and veggies. All the freeze-dried food is now under the stairs here. I guess I can't say all, but the majority of it. In the little wooden bins, we have two of them. So this first one has primarily vegetables, and then this one back farther has
our fruits. And then there's a box right there that you can kind of see right there that has more fruit and, as it's labeled, yogurt. And then over here, you can kind of see the little black, kind of under the bed trolley. And it can move forward and back. And we have some number 10 cans that has some different foods in those. And so we put those a little farther back instead of on the shelf. And then this box is, as it's labeled, eggs. So those are freeze-dried eggs, and we actually go through those pretty quickly, especially during the winter months. So I put them a little closer to the front so we have some better access. But that really frees up a lot of space on my shelves here in the food storage pantry. Coming around the corner here from underneath the stairs, this is around the corner, we have all of our juices up here. And then down here you can see there's a couple more boxes of some freeze-dried items. These are things that we use more regularly. There's some milk. In this corner over here is actually meals. So there's some soups and dinners and things like that. So I want to be able to get to those a little bit easier.
Now we have way more space for jars and for freeze-dried food. It is so satisfying to see this pantry and everything come together. Really, the work of the homestead doesn't stop in the winter. We just learn to adapt with it. And as we tackle projects inside the house, it's a good reminder that every season brings its own rhythms and its own rewards. So don't be discouraged when you can't work outside. Find something inside. We hope this project was inspiring to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.